So Roger Brown and I loaded up in Fairbanks, headed down to Summit to do a rescue of a snow machine that had gone in a crevasse down there. We thought this video might be helpful, what we did to keep ourselves safe. Traveling on glaciers is not a safe activity. It is highly risky, and you really need to do your due diligence and make sure that you reduce those risks as much as possible. Having the right kind of rescue gear is absolutely essential. You want to have a crevasse rescue kit when you go out riding on the glacier.
The troopers are asking if you're going to need medical attention when you get out. I'm saying yes. Okay.
He needs some slack so he can breathe.
He needs slack so he can breathe, you guys. We need slack coming back. Solid teamwork, fellas. Appreciate everybody getting in here now. Hope if I ever go down, I got a solid crew like this getting me the fuck out. I tell you that.
If somebody goes into a hole, they might need help in just a matter of minutes. There's a few key things that you can do to stay safer when you're on a glacier. So everybody wears harnesses and you have safety gear with you. You want to make sure that you do a trailhead meeting first before you just take off so everybody's on the same page. In our groups, we like to point positive. So if we see something dangerous, we want to steer people away from it. So we point the way we want people to go. So if you're up on a glacier, you see a big hole, you don't want somebody to go in, you point the way that it's safe to go. So that's what we use as a group. Your group may be different, and that's fine, as long as everybody's on the same page when you leave the trailhead. When we got up close to where the snow machine was in the crevasse, it's kind of a danger zone, so we pulled everybody together to do kind of a final safety check before we went up to the crevasse to do the rescue. So everybody waited in a safe spot, and I rode up there on my snow machine and took my probe out and probed around to find a safe zone where I could bring everybody else up, where they could park their snow machines and make sure they'd be safe. Once we got people up there, parked in a safe zone, then we had them get off, pull their probes out, and probe the entire area. So we all decided that if we're gonna be any closer than 4 feet from the crevasse, that we connect up to safety, hook up to a rope, if you're gonna go over and take a look in the crevasse or do any work on the edge. Also, when we first got there, we set up an anchor off a snow machine and wanted to go over to the edge, take a look, find out what the situation was with the machine, what our best approach would be. We wanted everybody to be on the same page as far as what the plan was for us being on safety and for getting the machine out of the hole to keep everybody as safe as possible. A couple of us went over to the edge, looked down in there, did an evaluation so we could come up with a plan as a group. We've got some information on our website that gives you a pretty comprehensive list of things you might want to have in that crevasse rescue bag. You want to be able to also have a harness on and have gear on that harness in case you went into a hole. You have the ability to climb up a rope if somebody throws a rope down to you. Be able to clip in if you're injured and they can pull you up with that rope. So really nice to have those ice screws so you can move around while you're down there in the crevasse and be on safety and not worry about falling on down through, because we were standing on a snow bridge down there, and it went much, much deeper. So really important to stay safe once you're down there. Set up your snow machine as an anchor properly. The suggestion is to have 2 snow machines as anchors. Have them back far enough away from the edge of the crevasse so you have plenty of room to work. So, 30 feet or so is really a pretty good distance. And then you're not using too much rope, and you've got plenty of space to work. It's good to set those machines up in kind of a V pattern and dig that track down into the snow above where it tapers back up into the tunnel, so that it's really difficult to pull that snow machine backwards, because you're going to have a lot of stress on that machine trying to pull that anchor free. So dig that track down in plenty deep enough so it's not going to be able to be pulled backwards. Sometimes it's good to set up an equalizing anchor off the back of the machines to make sure that you're not pulling too much stress on one anchor, not the other. So equalizing anchor is a good idea. We had a great top crew. Andy and I went down in the crevasse and worked on getting the machine set up and ready to pull out. And we had a great team up on top that was getting the haul system set up and ready to go. Roger Brown was getting his snow machine set up as a really good anchor, because we were going to pull this thing up kind of a ramp, a natural ramp that was there, but we needed a really good solid anchor for that, and he's got a winch on there, so that made it much easier. We didn't have to do just a mechanical advantage system to get that machine up out of there. We were able to use a winch plus mechanical advantage equipment on there as safety, and then also to just realign things when need be. So we always had a safety line on, and then we usually had a haul line and the winch line. So we had three lines on that snow machine as we were getting it up and out of there. When we were down in the crevasse, we could see that crevasse extended way on down. It was really long. You could see 100 yards down past where we were at. And you could see up above where the snow bridge had formed over the winter, and that defined line down the center of it where it was thin on top. It was really a good idea that we stayed back away from where that crevasse extended down, because there are thin spots there that could be as thin as 3 or 4 feet. And if you were walking around there on your feet, you could potentially punch through and fall right down into that crevasse. So we were super careful about making sure everybody stayed in those safe zones. We had Roger's sled turned upside down for edge protection, made out of UHMW, so that really helped a lot for reducing friction where that rope went over the edge. Where we rappelled down in, the guys had set up some snow shovels, so the handles were going crossways across where that rope cut over the edge to keep that rope from cutting down into the snow and, like I say, losing all your mechanical advantage. That's really important to have that edge protection. Yeah, Andy's crew was absolutely amazing. They did a great job of setting up those mechanical advantage systems when we needed them up on top. So when you go out there, you want to make sure you've got a group of people that have some basic training. If you don't have a few skills, it's going to be really difficult to get somebody out of a bad situation like this. We were just rescuing a snow machine, so things weren't near as critical, but on a human rescue situation, you want to make sure that your partners have some good training and they can help you out. It's just like being in avalanche terrain. If your buddies don't have beacon probe shovel and can't rescue you, you're in trouble. So it's kind of the same thing when you're riding on a glacier. You want to make sure that you've got your gear and there's other people in your group that have gear that can rescue you if you're the one that falls in. Alaska Safe Riders offers some classes on glacier travel and crevasse rescue, so be watching out for those. Put in a request if you really want to get a class. Get a group of guys together, and we can do custom classes as well, but you really need to have those skills when you go out there if you're going to travel on glaciers.
Just set up a few pulleys and yank it right out of there. Good job, gang. Sweet.
Taking a glacier travel class is one really important thing you can do. Do your research. Go on Google Earth and study those areas where you want to try to go ride and see what the crevasse situation is in those areas.
Learn more at alaskasaferiders.org. Become a member. Stay informed and stay safe.